before we move on though from superheroes, we got the Infinity War trailer, the last
which is
weeks.
effing sick.
It's pretty fucking crazy.
Like, can you think of a bigger bet that has
so
paid
rad.
off this well?
It's like they are like, and for that to come out a week after Justice League tanked at the box office. It's just like,
how's my dick taste?
yeah,
God bless.
I don't know.
Yeah,
And just
strong
it's
language.
Great. It is so good. So we're, the Justice League. There's Paul Bettany as
Being
Vision,
all-
but human.
He's gonna get so dead.
Yeah,
Like,
which is
just-
interesting because I think that everyone anticipated that happening, but the fact that they're giving that away in the trailer is interesting. They're kind of letting you know that they're gonna kill him.
They're gonna tear
the stone out of his
forehead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either way, I honestly cannot envision the Herculean task
Envision.
that it took to put this movie together.
Yeah, it's a daunting proposition because very rarely do you have to juggle so many things. Or maybe, and again, to be determined because we haven't seen the movie yet and it could be terrible. But there's so many things. There's just so many, like, and this is what's scary about it, and what was such a miracle about the first Avengers movie is that the nature of this film is like all these people just have to be in it. Like, its definitional attribute, its reason to be, is not a good idea for a story or anything, but it's instead, and this is true for the first Avengers film as well, it's like, see all these 6 guys? They just have to be in it, and you have to give them time, and they have to all be characters, so figure that shit out, and figure out a way to balance it.
Like,
and,
by the
and
way,
then,
it can't be 3.5 hours long.
exactly.
Either.
Yeah. And so with this, it's just so interesting because it's like you gotta have Doctor Strange in there, and you gotta have the Guardians of the Galaxy in there, and you gotta have Spider-Man in there. Figure it out.
Was that not the alien from Men in Black? That
Which one?
multi-armed thing
I
there
didn't
like
see
a
it.
couple seconds back?
I hope it was.
That one.
But anyway, it looks cool.
I mean, even in the trailer, the Infinity Gauntlet has multiple stones in it. So, the first 15 minutes of this movie is basically going to be Thanos running around just taking the easy ones.
Well,
He's like, hey,
I mean,
population of whatever fucking human-esque people who are like John C. Reilly is your Secretary of Defense. I'm taking your shit and just like destroying that planet and taking
the Nova
well, no, I mean, like, but seriously, like, spoilers. Did you see Thor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ragnarok was awesome.
Did you see the after credits thing?
I did.
Okay, that's Thanos taking that fucking gem.
It's great.
Like-
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Remember what the after credits thing was?
It was
After
the
credits
ship showing up.
The after credits thing is like the most depressing fucking thing because it's like, all right, we've had like all of this stuff, we've saved all the people of Asgard, it's really great, and now we're hanging out, and then all of a sudden, just a big giant ship like comes up out of nowhere.
I'm not
I thought you
sure
were
if
talking
it's
about the
exactly
after
him
credits.
taking
Yeah,
it,
right.
but it's like that's what it's
Yeah.
pointing to. Like that is Thanos. He's showing. But
Well,
I
and
also
then,
think
like, in this trailer itself, like you can see Loki with the stone that he took from
Tesseract,
out, like presenting it or whatever, which makes me really wonder if it's like hopefully Thor Ragnarok still means something and not everyone from Asgard just gets murdered.
that would suck.
By the way, this is something that hasn't been talked about with Thor Ragnarok, which just kind of pissed me off after thinking about it. So is all of Asgard like 200 people who are like a bunch of
much.
useless peasants and just bringing them around there? It's like, what's the point? What are you saving here?
Asgard is wherever the heart and soul
That's right.
and spirit of the people of Asgard are.
It's
Much like the church.
completely, all of them are completely useless. They're just suffering peasants that are just shuffled around from place. It's like the most cumbersome MacGuffin you could get there.
You just keep losing more points.
So
that's gonna be fucking awesome.
That's gonna be cool.
Black
And
Panther comes out soon.
Black
right?
Panther comes out soon. I'm excited about that. But real quick, I do want to transition into. So it looks like this Disney Fox acquisition is actually going to happen, which is kind of nuts.
Finally,
and which is kind of funny to backtrack for a minute because I was just kind of piecing it together, realizing that like there was articles written about 6 months ago or so, maybe less than that, 3 months ago, with people speculating like, was the Marvel Cinematic Universe going to come to an end? Because Kevin Feige they haven't announced a whole new slate of movies, and Kevin Feige was pretty wishy-washy when asked directly about it. So what's the post Infinity War game? Saying we're really just concentrating on ending the stories for the people we've established thus far, and it's like, what does that mean? What does that mean, etc. Then, obviously, all these rumors are happening about the Disney Fox acquisition, and then it's interesting to see people now connecting the dots between those two things, saying that the reason that Marvel has been so non-committal about the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is because they've known that this Fox acquisition was in the works, and that everything post Infinity War is going to be built around X-Men and Fantastic Four, and just all of that shit, and rebooting basically every property that Fox has. Which would be awesome. I think that would certainly give him some place to go.
Dude, like, can you imagine like an actual good X-Men movie, like other than Logan?
No, dude.
Yeah.
An actual good Fantastic Four movie.
That would be
So here's the thing: it's like
possible.
all of the problems, all of the horrible, horrific, like dystopian bullshit, like that we have to deal with, like with monomedia and all that stuff that's coming up. Yes, that's all terrible and sucks, but also Fantastic Four movie,
Dude.
I also heard, I forget who said it, but some speculation online that actually was really smart as to how could mutants have existed in this whole Marvel Cinematic Universe this whole time and no one noticed them. And someone had the speculation that maybe Professor X, being the super powerful mind guy that he is, somehow acquires the ability to erase the idea of mutants from everyone's minds there. I think that's the winner.
that is very much actually a thing that has been done in comics, not necessarily with the mutants, but with the Century comic book hero, who they Superman-esque character they kind of plugged into the Marvel universe. Same deal has been done, and actually that was my thought as well. It's like, don't just do a thing where it's like, now all of a sudden there's mutants. Make it to where it's like, no, they were here all along.
Yeah.
And like the thing that makes it to where you know about mutants now is, well, Magneto decided to fuck some shit up. Like, he's tired of being in the shadows, whatever.
Cool.
I think Brolin looks interesting as Thanos. Thanos is a lot less purple than he was the first time we saw him.
It's interesting that they've kind of backed off on the costume from traditional Thanos to this. I would like to see, I'm hoping / wondering if that is because they want to like save it till he gets the full thing, and then put all the crazy
Also,
shit on him.
I mean, his previous, possibly, but also his previous looks as they've appeared in the movies have been not great. This, I think they did a lot of testing, a lot of figuring out what's a good look for him, and I think this looks pretty good.
He looks like a giant hulking bad motherfucker.
He does.
Well, I mean,
And we see him for 2 seconds.
Well, he looks designed to have a big ol' fight with the Hulk.
Yeah.
Like that's literally that character design. The newest version of it is very much just like just
Purple
now
Hulk.
imagine that next to the Hulk, and then they fight.
Just the way he like walks and the facial expressions Brolin has. It's just he did a really good job making him look like a bad motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I also find out is he has a bit of a stubble on his upper lip. So I was like, so Thanos shaves apparently.
And how does he shave all those creases on his chin? Like, how does he really? How does he get in there?
Does he have hair on there? Does he need to use what does he use?
Like
Nair. He uses Nair.
Nair. That's
Yeah.
it. That shit
He
is
gets it
strong.
waxed.
That's powerful.
Yes, Infinity Nair.
They just have to open up.
That's actually his entire quest for the Infinity Gauntlet is so that he can create Infinity Nair.
That's right.
Like, that's actually the thing. It's not about like.
What if the reason he's so mad is because he just has a bunch of ingrown hairs in there?
Yeah.
And they're just irritating.
But also, if there's stubble there, that also does mean that we could see a Thanos one day with a mustache.
Yeah.
A mustache.
Oh man.
What if in post they have to go back and add a mustache to Thanos?
That's
like they
that'd be
took one
cool.
away.
It's way
from-
easier than taking one away.
Clark Kent, yeah.
Well, if we ever get introduced to the idea of alternate dimensions, the other Thanos must have a mustache, obviously, so you can differentiate them.
I just
Anyway.
found a picture.
Uh-huh.
I just found a picture of Thanos punching through what looks like Doctor Strange. And if that doesn't happen in the movie, I'm going to be super disappointed.
That would be cool.
Is it a comic book picture or is it like a still from the trailer or
I
something?
can't tell the difference between real life and animation.
Yeah.
Okay.